Hi, I'm Niti. Thank you,
Okay.
Henry, for inviting me for this webinar session. I'm from
Okay.
Malaysia, and I have my own digital marketing and PR agency, which is called as Soul Creations. So
Okay.
we've been doing this for the last 10 years. But prior to this, we were more into event management, and slowly we have moved into the digital marketing in the last 5
Okay.
years or so. So yeah,
Okay. Great.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for having the time to have this discussion. So
Thank you.
to jump right into the first question, what opportunities do you think are there for restaurants during this COVID-19 pandemic?
Okay. Okay. Before I go into the opportunity part, I wish to actually
Okay.
explain to you about the situation right here in Malaysia.
Okay.
We have gone through 3 phases of lockdown. Not really full lockdown, but partial lockdown. And
Okay.
every single time the phases, we have different phases. We have different operating hours for the restaurants. Okay. So initially, when the first phase was launched, the operating hours was like until 10 p.m. So you can start at 8 until 10 p.m. Then when we went to the second phase, because it was difficult to control the infection, so they started reducing the operating time to 8 p.m. Okay. So you can see that based on my experience with my clients who own restaurants, they saw a gradual decrease in sales. And you can only do deliveries or takeaways or drive-throughs. So it is totally limited for that. So I think based on this scenario, the opportunity for restaurants is you have to transform yourself into the digital space as much as possible. So especially we have a lot of delivery services like Foodpanda, Grab. I'm not sure what other services at your place, but we have a couple of delivery services. So not many restaurants in this marketplace. They are not linked to Foodpanda or they're not linked to Grab. So when such a thing happens, totally they are not able to deliver or reach the full potential. Reach out to the customers. So that's one opportunity that they should look into. And also they need to be on the digital presence. They should really look into that. Okay. Because right now you see that they are not leveraging the digital platforms as much as they should. Okay. Or social media contents, website contents and all that. So I think these are among the opportunities that we can look at.
Just out of curiosity, which do you think would be the best route to take? Looking at the fact that you've mentioned delivery being one way restaurants should go, do you think having them engage sort of delivery services or having in-house delivery persons would be the best route for them to take?
I think in-house would be better.
Okay.
Because you have control. And of course, I think the cost is also much lesser as compared to you paying a significant amount to the third-party services. In-house is good, but then you must be able to cover quite an extensive area. So if you are going to deliver, then you must go with beyond certain kilometers, not just at a particular location. So you must have that resources like delivery riders to go to different places, different areas, different cities to deliver food. Then it will be workable. But for third party, they have an extensive network and they have a very good system where you place the order and then it gets delivered almost within 20 minutes. Sometimes it's really very, very, very useful if they use the third party.
Oh, okay.
So I think we got to balance both.
Oh, okay. All right. So do you have any examples of some restaurants that have actually adapted to this and sort of using some innovative ways to?
Okay. Okay, if among the restaurants that I have, the clients that I've worked with, or just looking at how restaurants here are managing, I would say we can group them in stages. Like those hawkers, we have hawker stalls. Not sure if you have those, that, you know, like we have roadside stalls, right? Or we have hawker stalls inside restaurants. Okay, so I'm not pretty sure. I'm not sure if they have adapted to digital platform. I think very less. So they will have some difficulty to strive during this period because they are not familiar with Grab. They are not familiar with Foodpanda. So it's going to be very tough for them. For other restaurants, I've seen them like the kind of creative ideas they come up with. Instead of delivering their food, they come up with their own recipes, like recipe boxes. So you can actually take those food, like, yeah, if you have burgers, you can take the burgers and the sauces and make your own burgers. So these are some of the
that's pretty innovative. Okay.
Yes. And also, since the phase 3 and phase 2 started, we have difficulties accessing to fresh supplies of vegetables, fruits, and like livestock and stuff. So what happened is some restaurants were struggling to actually maintain their business during this period. They started selling vegetables. So they get the supplies from their own providers. So they start selling those things. So they transform their business altogether
into
So all done online. So that's the current method of doing business.
Okay, definitely that's one way to go. And as you were actually speaking, I was thinking of the opportunity they have when you mentioned the idea of having them deliver recipes to their customers. They also do have the opportunity of, you know, sharing recipes on how they prepare certain food online.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you do know any restaurants that are doing that, but that's definitely one way they could go. So generally speaking, when we are talking about restaurants adapting, what other points would you have for a restaurant owner or restaurant business to adapt when it comes to the post-COVID-19 pandemic? Because when the pandemic is gone, definitely restaurants will be back in business.
Yeah.
So what can they do to adapt and also to accommodate the change that is coming?
Okay. One thing is during the pandemic, some certain things that we did for our clients, like influencer campaigns, influencer outreach programs, they should really focus on that because people are online and you know, they have a lot of time on Instagram to go through these profiles. So get some influencers, deliver food, get them to review your food. That's a very good outreach campaign. Another thing I would say is doing a lot of publishing a lot of articles. At this moment, you have to be actively releasing articles about your business to the media. So, you know, people actually, you're visible there. So people actually see you all the time. That's one thing. Other than that, I think basically they have to make sure a lot of live contents, like make a lot of live videos. Okay. Live videos about, like you said, mentioned about recipes, right? Not many restaurants are willing to share secrets about their recipes, but they can do like simple things. You don't have to show your secret sauce, but you can go through simple process of making a simple meal. So that's one thing that we can try it out. And very important, what the pandemic taught us is about social distancing, of you know, all sanitization and all this. You have to let the people know, your customer know how you are tackling all this. So it's the same attitude you have to follow after this pandemic ends as well. All this will be the new normal for restaurants.
Definitely.
And some of my clients have also engaged in a lot of community programs. Helping each other, building, you know, for frontliners and stuff like that. So that's one way that you could also reach out to the community and
Okay, because as you were speaking and talking about live content,
yes,
some ideas I had was what restaurants could do is actually, record themselves preparing food, in the kitchens. They could also record just having conversations as, the employees, the people in the workspace,
correct.
and share that on social.
Yeah.
Whether as a live video or posted, because obviously most restaurants only have 2 or 3 people going to work daily. So those people could actually begin an episode that sort of communicates. And one other thing also, I think restaurants have the opportunity to share their story, because we're talking about having more engagement right now. And they have the opportunity to share how they began their restaurant, why they began their restaurant. I'm sure there's some passionate chef that owns a restaurant right now that would want his customers to know. Another opportunity that I see them having is collaborating with other restaurants as well. Everyone is in the same boat right now, and they have the opportunity to team up, and whether it's come up with video content or come up with articles. You don't have to necessarily do what big restaurants are doing, which is, giving out charity, because not everyone could,
can
afford to give out tons of money and donations.
Correct.
But you could definitely collaborate with, I wouldn't say your competitor, but another restaurant, and share recipes with your audience. Yeah.
And that's a very good way of coming together, because I also saw a lot of groups that was initiated, like on FB groups, to support all these different restaurants. So that's a very good initiative, coming together. And a very good story, a live story that you can show is how you are handling this pandemic. Something that is very realistic. I'm pretty sure there'll be some challenges. It'll be good to let the people know, the customers know that how you're handling
this. Okay. So how can people find you when it comes to your digital marketing services? You can share that briefly.
Okay.
In case people want to,
Yeah. So those, like what we do is we create contents, like I said earlier, for different clients. Of course, restaurants, we have also healthcare. So we create contents for them, for their digital platform, and also articles to be published in the media. So you can actually get in touch with us through our FB page, Soul Creations, or our Instagram page, Soul Creations 00. So you can drop us a mail, a message, and we'll get to you.
Oh, okay. Do you do copywriting as well? That's part of copywriting, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you very much for this discussion.
Thank you.
I look forward to having another one, probably in-depth discussion about this.
Sure. Yeah. So, thank you very much, Harry, for the invitation. I truly enjoyed the session and sharing all the knowledge from you. Okay, thanks. Bye.